Welcome to Barnstable Today. I'm Nick Cortez.
And I'm Kevin Friel. We'd like to remind you right at the top that the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town's website, www.town.barnstable.ma.us.
Last week's meeting schedule was an abbreviated one due to the midweek snowstorm, but the school committee got its meeting in a day before the snow started to fly. The meeting centered on Superintendent Dr. Patricia Grenier's presentation of the fiscal year 2011 school budget. And as you'll see here, her proposal is much more optimistic as compared to the fiscal year 2010 budget, which contained millions in cuts.
So next year we're asking for level service with a plus. We will provide, hopefully, next year what we have this year. We would like to add, and we have budgeted for an additional English language learner position, and we need to continue to look for creative ways to address the high school class size. There is not additional revenue built in to add teachers, because in order to do it, we would actually have to add 5 to 7 teachers. You'd need a new math teacher, a new English teacher. We're looking at some of the scheduling ways and some creative ways to do this, to impact the class size issue. One of the things we've done, and I don't want to ever become so institutionalized that we are inflexible, but we build our class sizes based on student and what students register for. And so if in the first 2 weeks of school we have 25 students that registered for an advanced placement psychology class, and 2 weeks in they decide that they don't like that it's too much work, so they want to leave that class and then go to an honors psychology class, that class had 25 students in it. Part of our flexibility may be part of our problem, that the 5 students leaving the AP class bring the number down to 20 students in AP and brings the 25 class in honors up to 30. Fundamentally, that's part of the problem. So I think we need to do a better job getting students to understand what they're committing to, and then saying, you're in, I won't give up on you, this is important, and you can do it. And so the students who chose the AP class or the honors class, they chose it for a reason. So let's support them in staying in that class, because it's some of that flexibility, that changing, that creates some of the problem. And that was more than a handful of explanations as to why the variability in class size. So we're looking at that as a high school and a guidance department. As we look at this comparison, in order to do that level service plus for next year, we need $60 million. The town has said, based on what they know now, actually what they knew 2 months ago, they did not alter their budget recommendation as a result of the governor's budget, because typically what the governor's budget proposal is never the final version. And we may not know until June what the final version is from the state. So we have to choose a target at a point in time, and we've chosen this target. And our target includes reduction of local aid in Chapter 70. If that doesn't happen, then I do suspect the governor has to make up the lost revenue somewhere. I suspect that our grants will continue to be hit, as they have been for the past 3 years. And so if we should have a surplus in local aid, we can use that to help us with some of the grants that are going to be reduced, which have been. So right on the face of it, we have a $2.5 million revenue shortfall. How we will make that money up, that shortfall up, is in similarly to ways we've done it in the past. We will use school choice money, we will use circuit breaker money, we will use transportation fees. We always do that. We will also use savings from retirements, and that appears more accurate as we get closer to June and we get more teachers communicating with us. So at the end of the day, we are short $700,000. We have the opportunity this year to use ARA funding, which is the American Recovery Act, American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. And so we can use a portion of that money to balance our budget, which is called maintenance of effort in special education. And we are proposing to use that $700,000. If we don't use it, we could use it for staffing, but only for till the end of June of 11, And then all that staffing would go away, and we would then have to pay unemployment, cut people.
After Dr. Grenier finished her presentation, School Committee Chairman Patrick Murphy added that current projections bode well for fiscal year 2012's budget as well, but at the same time, Murphy was sure to remind the audience that the long-term financial picture of the district and the town as a whole is far from certain.
The last presentation, the superintendent did mention that with the help of the Consolidated School Municipal Finance Department, we did create a look at the fiscal year 2012 budget, and there are mechanisms to and plans to create a fiscal year 2012 budget that is balanced at level service. There was a point made last time that without new growth per se in the town, fiscal year 2013 would be a troubling year. And I'm sure it's not just it would not be just a school department issue. It would be across the entire town. So there is a need to see additional growth throughout the town of Barnstable by sometime in fiscal year 2013. But the superintendent, with the help of the finance department, do have plans to have ways to create level services for the next 2 fiscal years. This is a lot of work and a lot of projections, so we hope all the ideas and projections are accurate. A lot of ifs. That's probably the word of the day here.
The school committee will hold a public hearing on the proposed budget at its next regular meeting, which is scheduled for March 9th at 6 p.m. in the Town Hall hearing room.
Boards and committees are back to work after the holiday weekend. Let's take a look at this week's meeting schedule. On Tuesday, February 16th at 4 o'clock, the Barnstable Historic Commission has a meeting in the Selectmen's Conference Room. Also on Tuesday, February 16th at 6:30 in the evening, the Conservation Commission will meet in the Town Hall hearing room. Then on Wednesday, February 17th at 7 o'clock, the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Committee meets in the Selectmen's Conference Room. At 7:30 on Wednesday the 17th, the Shellfish Committee meets in the Marina Environmental Affairs Office on Finney's Lane in Centerville.
We're almost out of time, but before we go, of course, Valentine's Day was this past Sunday, and in that spirit, we want to send some love and gratitude out to Centerville Elementary School teachers Sue Wood and Carol Ann Friel, who, in addition to her work in the schools, had the unenviable task of raising this guy sitting right next to me. Sue and Carol Ann organized art projects for third graders that, for the past 18 months, have decorated the Barnstable Municipal Airport Terminal. The school committee last week recognized the pair for their efforts, and we'll do the same here on Barnstable Today.
For extraordinary commitment to the students of Centerville Elementary School, this is a certificate of recognition from the Barnstable School Committee. Thank you very much for your work.
Thank you.
Pack up, let's fly away.
Well, that's all for now. For Kevin Friel, a.k.a. Carol Ann Friel's little boy, I'm Nick Cortez. We'll see you next time on Barnstable Today.